it English?
Well, welcome back, MQ family. It's your boy Will HEMI with another update. The brand new 392 HEMI is purring along like a kitten. We are at mile, of course I didn't leave it on the miles. We are at mile 894 since install of the new motor. And feels great. I can't argue with anything so far. Hums along good. We had a little issue early on when I got the car. I could hear the engine kind of coming through on the left side of me, right on the inside. Like, and standing outside, I couldn't hear it the way I'm hearing it inside the car. Wasn't sure what was going on. Thought I had a severe exhaust leak, so I was gonna run it back down there and had the guys tighten up the head bolts. First brand new install. Not the head bolts, but the exhaust bolts, you know what I mean? So I thought maybe, might need a second torque down, but upon further inspection and after talking to my mechanic, the install mechanic, he let me know that there's a grommet boot down there next to the around the steering wheel that has to be fitted properly through the little hole in the firewall where the steering column comes from. So that wasn't on there tight. Through the install, you have to take the steering column out to drop the engine down out of the car, because these things go down on these Hemis. You really are not supposed to lift them up out of the car. You disconnect the front cross member or K member, whatever you call that crap underneath the subframe, and then you lift the car up with the lift, which I don't have. So that's why I had to outsource all of that. But it takes some work, and sometimes things don't, line up properly, and then the boot gets pushed out when you're reinstalling the engine. So that boot was out. We got down there, laid underneath, pulled the little cover down, and you could see it was clearly not attached. So, kind of squeezed it in and rounded the little area there and popped it all back in. Quiet as a church mouse now. Nothing to complain about. Sounds good, feels good. The transmission adaptation seems to be off a little bit, as far as it's letting me hang around in gears longer in sport mode than I'm used to, and it's not downshifting as soon as I would like when I lay on the gas pedal. Now, I did reprogram my Predator, my Diablo Sport thing, T1, whatever. The one that's discontinued, you can't use no more. But that's the one I got for this computer. I reprogrammed it to give the pedal a little more, 20% more sensitivity, like I always keep it. But it seems like it didn't take. So I might have to go back in there, redo it again, and then it might be different. That might be the case. That's not what I'm used to, is having to press so far down the gas pedal to trigger downshift. I'm used to not having to go that far, but other than that, we be good. Yeah, so, and another thing I wanted to mention with this motor, I probably didn't mention to you. Got it from HHP, High Horse Performance. It's a crate motor, brand new, fresh from my Mopart's factory. But this particular engine is one for a manual Challenger 392. That means it does not have MDS lifters at positions 2, 4, 6, and 8. I'm sorry, not 2, 4, 6, and 8. Positions 1, 4, 6, and 7. It does not have MDS lifters. It does not have the it has a little block offs on top of the intake, under the intake manifold, top of the block. So it's already missing the MDS. So that might account for my lack of good mileage so far. But it's okay. Now, mind you, the first engine left the chat behind a bad lifter. Now, that lifter was number 3, and it was not an MDS lifter. That's 1, 4, 6, and 7. Number 3 went bad because the lifter, being an MDS lifter, one which collapses when the oil control valve tells it to, so that it doesn't open the valves for that cylinder. Those lifters do collapse and come back to life on demand. And people have thought that was the cause of the HEMI tick. That is not the cause of the HEMI tick. Mind you, I didn't even have a tick, but that is still not the cause. It is the roller on the end of the lifter, and it could be any lifter. All 16 have that roller with those little bitty pins on it. Little roller pin, needle bearings is what they call them. So one of mine definitely failed, and therefore the roller moves and it doesn't open the valve far enough. So it messes with your air-fuel ratio and it messes with your compression. So then you get misfires. That's what happened to me. So as we got this new motor, I was made aware that this one that I was ordering was non-MDS, which is fine by me because the MDS really only accounts for like a 1 or 2 miles per gallon. In all actuality, they never really give you a number on that, but it doesn't account for much. And then you don't have to worry about that in and out. But yet I still get the Eco Light, and so I'm realizing that doesn't have anything to do with MDS. The Eco Light is usually when the MDS is working. They work at the same time, but I think the Eco Light is something else that goes into eco mode or whatever for the transmission adaptation or something like that. I don't know. I have to study that. But I still get the Eco Light and I still hear the noise from time to time. But this engine, being brand new, has the new lifters. 2017, I think it was the latest update. So any motor built after 2017 has the new lifters with much more robust needle bearings. Shouldn't have any problems. So we're going to keep it pushing at this point. Until next time, this HEMI's still under my right foot.